Every October since 2011, Retro Movie Geek has brought you the spooky side of retro movies. And this year is no different. So, a haunting we will go as we dig up classic tales of ghosts and hauntings that are 20 years old or older. But remember, we spoil the hell out of every movie we cover. So consider yourself forewarned. Spooky Flix Fest starts now.
Hey guys and gals, I am Gregor Mortis.
This is Dave, Dr. Shock Becker from just outside Philadelphia, PA.
This is Bill the Butcher Van Bagel, just east of Toronto, Ontario.
And Pearl the Twisted Temptress.
And we are hosts of Land of the Creeps Horror Movie Podcast. And we are back to join the guys over there with Gilman, Joel, and Peter, and Daryl, and all of them. We're doing the Spooky Flix Fest 2023. And I didn't screw the name up.
No, very good. I'm proud of you. Your English is improving.
Oh my gosh, Spooky Flix Fest! I love this.
He's been practicing that for 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be a blast. But we've been invited back, and this is such an honor, and we're super excited to do this. The movie we're going to be talking about is going to be the movie from M. Night Shyamalan. Nope, it's M. Night Shyamalan. And
M. Night, as Quentin Tarantino calls him, M. Night Shyamalan the Ding Dong.
Shyamalan the Ding Dong. Mr. Shyamalan, and we're looking at The Sixth Sense. So we will be doing spoilers in this, listeners. So you listen to Spooky Flix Fest, you know that's what happens. So I'll read off the IMDb. It's Malcolm Crowe, a child psychologist, starts treating a young boy, Cole, who encounters dead people. I see dead people. And convinces him to help them. In turn, Cole helps Malcolm reconcile with his estranged wife. So there is your wonderful IMDb synopsis, which is just so wonderful. But here is the movie. You got Bruce Willis, who plays the character of Malcolm, and he is a psychologist type guy. And here's the thing: we got a lot of stuff going on here. We got an opening that's a banger, and then the whole story just takes off from there. So I think we'll take it over. Let's take it to the Twisted Temptress. Pearl, thoughts on this movie right off the bat? Like, what are some of your scenarios, and then we'll pass it around to Horn here.
Well, my thought off the bat was karma came and kicked Malcolm where it belongs.
In the nuts.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, yeah, because obviously the opening, it starts off where he got an award for recognition for being the psychologist that he is, helping so many kids. But one. Mm-hmm. There was one that he only used his psychology on. He didn't truly listen. Mm-hmm. And this is where it starts going off.
Gets off the rails a little bit. And what a movie. So, Dave, I know you've watched this movie. I know you had your story with your wife.
Yes.
Thoughts on this one?
Well, first off, what I thought was really cool was that young man who wasn't able to help in that opening scene, that was Donnie Wahlberg.
Wow. That's insane.
And he had lost, I don't know how many pounds. He
43.
was emaciated, basically. You know, in this movie, he lost a lot of weight to play that character in that brief scene at the beginning of this movie. Yes, I saw this on the big screen. I took my wife. It was over Thanksgiving break in 1999, and I took her to see this movie. Now, I always struggle a bit with the supernatural. I mean, I remember seeing The Ring in 2002, and that movie, I wanted to freaking jump over seats to get away from it, because I'm thinking, if I see that little girl crawling up the aisle at me, I'm getting the hell out of here. I have strong visceral reactions to supernatural movies. I don't know why. I can watch a slasher, I can watch psychological horror, I can watch any type of horror movie. But when it comes to supernatural, it just creeps the hell out of me. And I was sitting in the theater. I took my wife to see it, and I knew The Sixth Sense, and I'd heard things about it, and it was a great movie and everything. So I took her to see it, and I'm like, oh wow, it's a ghost movie. And then I'm like, oh shit, it's a ghost movie. And we get to the point, you know, it's about 30, 40 minutes in, and I say to my wife, hey, look, if this is too much for you, we can leave. And Jackie's like, no, I'm into this. I love it. This is great. And then there's a scene with a little girl under the bed. Mm-hmm. And I said, can we go? And Jackie's like, no, I'm into this. I don't want to go. Well, let's just say it gets to the end of the movie. I don't want to spoil anything. Well, no, this is spoilers,
you can
right?
spoil it. Yeah.
Oh, so screw it. I'll spoil the hell out of it. The ending scene, you have the young boy sitting in his car with his mother, played by Toni Collette. You know, this is like Toni Collette has become like a horror staple, you know. And there's a traffic jam. They're sitting in a Philadelphia traffic jam. And she's like, what's going on up there? And, you know, Haley Joel Osment turns to her and says, there was an accident. And a biker was hit by a car and killed. Mm-hmm. And she looks and goes, well, how do you know that? Can you see it? He's like, no. She's standing outside the window right now. And I'm sitting there in the crowd. I'm going, okay, we know he can see dead people. You don't have to show the mangled biker. There she is, standing outside the window.
Mangled.
Yep, not sleeping tonight.
Poor Dave. Oh,
I'm telling you, this movie, I think, did a great job. It's a great ghost film. Mm-hmm. And this is what introduced M. Night Shyamalan to the world, that there's going to be a major twist at the end of his movie.
Yeah.
And it worked for me. When I saw this movie, you know, as much as I was like creeped out by the supernatural stuff, the twist at the end of this movie impressed the hell out of me. And I'm like, whoa, that's awesome.
Agreed. Bill, thoughts on this one before we get breaking this down?
Yeah, thoughts on this one. This is a film I also saw in the theater back in the day, and I think I've maybe only seen it once since. So this was a nice refresher. It had been, I'm going to say, 15 years since I had seen this, because you know the twist, and if you know the twist, it kind of takes a bit away, but in a way it doesn't, because what I really did enjoy revisiting this was looking for the clues as you go, knowing the twist.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did the same thing the second time I watched it. I'm like, okay, there he is sitting with the mother. How did they do this? Because when you're watching it the first time, you're like, okay, he's the psychologist is meeting with the mother. But then you watch, they're not interacting.
No, I wrote down a few different examples, and we can discuss it as we go. But when you now have that critical eye as you watch it, it's through a different lens, and it gives you a different perspective and a different way of viewing the film, rather than just either going in cold or just going in with a date or something. It's a different experience.
Agreed.
And I quite enjoyed it. The other observation, not having seen it for a while, is, and having followed Toni Collette's career all the way from, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street all the way down to what she's up to now, you know, through Hereditary and all that, this might be her best overall acting performance.
It's amazing.
It could be, yes. And that's saying something. That's saying something, because Toni Collette, I think, is an amazing actress.
Yeah, I mean, she's done so much lately. And Dave, you being the cinephile guy, I'm wondering if in the minds of the voters, she even got a glimpse of Oscar consideration for this role.
I don't know that she did, but she should have. She definitely should have. Well, let's be honest. She should have been nominated for Hereditary.
True.
Yeah. You know, she absolutely should have been nominated for that movie. But she was damn good in The Sixth Sense as well. She really you know, was. As the mother who was concerned for her son but didn't know what he was going through.
Mm-hmm.
She was showing emotion, a genuine, you know, and she's trying to figure out, why are these bruises and cuts on his back? Right. In the hospital, the social services are on her.
Who's doing it? And she thinks it's these other kids.
Yeah.
You know, what's really interesting is Haley Joel Osment, I thought, did a great job in this movie as the young boy. But do you know Michael Cera auditioned for that role? It was the very first role Michael Cera ever auditioned for, was for the role of the young boy in this movie.
Damn.
I think M. Night Shyamalan picked the
He
right
picked the
film.
right. He picked the right choice.
He picked the right one.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm a Michael Cera fan. I like Michael Cera. But I think Haley Joel Osment was amazing in this film.
The innocence. He had that innocent look, and it's the way that he emoted himself.
Let's be honest. This was 1999, but one of the iconic lines, the top 10 iconic lines of the 90s is, "I see dead people."
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he delivered it in a way that breaks your heart.
Yeah.
The other thing you got to think of is how often in a role in this type of movie over the years have we seen where the child actor is kind of the letdown. In this case, he was almost the come up.
Yeah.
Which
He was the main character. I mean, you have and look at that scene where he's first meeting Bruce Willis.
Mm-hmm.
He's running from him. He knows what Bruce Willis is in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the scenes that lead from that point forward with Bruce Willis and his estranged, quote unquote, estranged wife.
Yeah.
There's nothing estranged about it when you know where the movie ultimately goes.
Yep. What was you going to say, La?
Oh, no, I was going to say that quote that I see dead people, it was purposely used because of the fact that, like, some of Bruce Willis movies, like the 12 Monkeys, for example, when he says, "All I see is dead people," that's why they used it on purpose.
That's cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that, but that's really cool. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, for this movie, it makes sense because he does see dead people, and that's all he sees.
That scene where he's looking up when they're in that building and he looks up and he sees those people hanging there.
Oh, God.
And what's really interesting is Bruce Willis, knowing what he is at that moment in the movie, he can't see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even knowing what he is at that point.
Exactly.
He can't see that. When he goes to that young girl's house, the young girl who died, the one who appeared under his bed, and the one who made me want to get the hell out of the movie theater.
Well, I think it's
When he
realistically...
goes to... What?
Well, I was going to say, I think realistically, because they're not supposed to see each other, especially the ones who don't believe that they're dead.
No, because every scene when he's there, Bruce Willis is with him, and the young boy is going up the stairs, and Bruce Willis is going with him. They're going to the young girl's room to find the evidence to show the father that the mother was a piece of shit who was doing this to the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody looks twice because it's a little boy going up the stairs.
True.
For them, Bruce Willis isn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it took me, did you not, like the first time you saw this movie, you said in the theater, I didn't get to see it in the theater, but my first viewing of it, I didn't catch on that Bruce was dead until way into this movie.
Oh, it was that
like
was
the reveal.
twist. Yes, that was the reveal at the end when they flashed back and you see the scenes with the wife.
And it's so obvious.
She's like, happy anniversary, and she throws the drink down and everything, and he thinks like she's pulling away from him because he doesn't know he's dead.
It's crazy how they did that.
Well, I think they were clever with every part, because like that part that you guys were talking about moments ago where like he's sitting there with Toni Collette and the son comes home and she's talking to him, doesn't acknowledge
and the son
Bruce
looks
Willis.
at them. He stops and he pauses and he looks at them.
But then there's one
Because
part.
he can see Bruce Willis, but the mother cannot.
Yeah, but then there's one part where it psychs you out because she turns around, looks his direction, and says, "You got an hour." A typical thing that someone would say to a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that kind of fools you. It makes you think like, oh, she does know he's there.
I mean, I think I'm going to speak for myself. I didn't figure it out first viewing. Pearl, did you figure it out the first viewing?
Well, yeah, because...
All right, well, Pearl, all right, she goes to the side.
I didn't figure it out until the very end.
I didn't
when
either.
they actually gave you they actually tied everything together.
Bill, did you figure it out?
For me, it was a major surprise.
Yeah, Bill.
I'm sitting there, I was terrified, and I'm like, whoa, that is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, I remember back in the day, I mean, there was the internet, but I wasn't trolling for stuff. So it did come kind of at me. I just thought it would be a fun movie to see. Did I not realize the kind of film I would be watching?
Yeah, it was a shock. And I'm like at the end, like, but then when you rewatch, I think this is where you're at, Bill. I think as you're listening, audience, if you've not seen this movie, I mean, we're going to clearly say watch this movie. But I'm going to say watch it multiple times because it's the multiple watchings. I agree with you, Bill. It takes the sting away when you know what's already happened. And these type movies do that, okay? Once you see a type movie like this.
You get to see the craft. You get
exactly.
to see the craft that M. Night Shyamalan put into it,
yeah.
where he was able... that if you like, he knows he's going to throw a twist in there that you're going to want to go back and watch it again. Mm. And when you watch it again, you realize he didn't cheat.
Sure.
Yeah.
He kept it, everything through the movie. He kept that twist at the end real.
Yep.
But you didn't know it because your mind is playing tricks on you. You're thinking, okay, Toni Collette and Bruce Willis are sitting there. They've had a conversation. Here comes Haley Joel Osment. You know, everything that happens in it, you think there's like a logical reason for it until you watch it again. You're like, wow, they're not even acknowledging each other.
I think what gave it away for me was the fact of the very beginning, because of the fact that he looked timid. Like, you know, he would run from him every time, and every time he would see him. So that gave me the clue, like, you know what? It took him to be comfortable with him to start talking to him. And even when he started talking to him, you could tell in his voice that he was still fearful to talk to him. But then,
but you didn't know why.
Yes,
I just a shy, withdrawn
that
kid,
was me.
A bullied kid who was like, he didn't trust anybody.
That was my thought.
I thought that was brilliant.
And then clue number two.
Stroke.
Yep.
Clue number two, there ain't no therapist that hangs around with you all day long every day either.
So they're there. No, they're totally there.
And he can't get into his basement because there's a table in the way.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Now, just to interject, I looked up. It was nominated for 6 Oscars. It did not win one. Collette was nominated for Best Actress.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Because you know what? She should have been. Yeah. She absolutely should have been.
Haley Joel was nominated for Best Actor in a Supporting Role.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Collette was supporting role. And it was nominated for Best Picture. M. Night was nominated for Best Director, Best Writing, and didn't win a single one.
Mm-mm.
No, and then, you know, I didn't think it would. What was 99 was actually a very strong year in Hollywood.
I already got it right here. The Best Picture in 99 was American Beauty. That's
a good movie.
Yeah, but
you know what? I would give The Sixth Sense the nod over it. But I think American Beauty is a good movie.
Yeah, and I'm looking, Best Director was American Beauty, Sam Mendes. Best Actor was Roberto Benigni in Life is Beautiful. Best Actor in a Supporting Role was James Coburn for Affliction. Let's see here.
Who won Writing?
That's what I was looking at. It freaking froze. All right, here we go. Okay. All right, so American Beauty, nominations, awards, okay, Best Picture. Best Picture, Sixth Sense was, like you said, Bill, was in the hunt for it and directing as well. Actor in a leading role, let's get to the females. All right, actress in a leading role was given to Boys Don't Cry, Hilary Swank.
Oh, she was good.
No, she was up for the supporting, so who won supporting?
Supporting role. Oh, I'm sorry. Supporting role was what? Okay, Angelina Jolie. Girl Interrupted.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, she was pretty good in that movie.
Yeah.
I gotta give Angelina Jolie credit. She was good in Girl Interrupted, but I would have given the Oscar personally if I had the vote. It would have been Toni Collette.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so what we're going to do here, because time's running, I know Joel's got us on a time limit. He's like, you guys get it done. Peter's probably over there, I'm going to tell you all, because he's in the closet coming out, and he's like,
Peter's asleep in the closet.
He's in the closet.
You know what, Greg?
What is it, 5 a.m. right now in Sweden?
Greg, we're going to have to bench ourselves.
We're going to bench ourselves. Yeah, we'll have to do this 3 more times, Joel. Take that, Gil, man. Now, what we'll do is say this. This is a masterpiece. I will say it. I'll rate it. But we haven't really talked a lot about the movie, but the whole movie is set up between Bruce Willis and basically the boy Cole. And it's all about their story of how this boy is trying to reveal to Bruce, you're dead. Right? And
without actually saying it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the relationship between the two of them, it works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Bruce Willis is finally reaching someone who he didn't reach that first kid because he didn't know what his problem was.
Yeah.
But he figures out what this young boy's problem is.
Yep. So they helped each other. They helped
They
Bruce.
helped each other, and then he says, "Just listen to your wife."
Mm-hmm. And that was
And
crazy.
she's asleep in that scene.
And I
And my God, what an amazing scene
Oh,
that
my
is at
God.
the end when he's sitting there.
I think the clues came out best observing the behaviors of the wife.
Yes.
Yes,
Agreed.
yeah, that's what she does in this movie. You get the feeling that, as you're watching it, that she's pulled away from her husband. They're not close anymore, but that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when he picks up the medicine bottle and sees that she's got Zoloft.
Yes.
And he's like, I didn't prescribe.
I didn't do that. What the hell? Zoloft? That's not
Right.
me. So,
And then when he releases her, he's like, sort of, I'm paraphrasing here, go live your life.
yeah.
And then when he
Go
can't
be
get-
happy.
when he has that red door handle and he can't get down the stairs,
Yeah.
you're like, okay.
Every time there's a table in the way, it's like, Bruce, move
Yeah.
the goddamn table out of the way of the door already.
And that's the thing. Keep your eye out for the color red, listeners. Every time you see red, that is the worlds colliding. That's when the supernatural is meeting with the reality world. So that's your clue. If you see red, she was wearing a red dress. There was a red door handle. Look for the color red, and there's your clue where the dead and the
Now,
supernatural is involved.
the other thing I observed watching it again is how purposefully paced this is.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
They did not speed ahead. You wouldn't call this a slow burn, but you would say that they didn't throw more at you than needed to be.
No, I agree with that. This is not a slow burn, but it's also not like a rapidly paced film.
Now, if you're looking for not Hereditary, if you're looking for The Conjuring where there's jump scares,
Oh,
you ain't getting that here.
No.
You're not getting it. Every scare in this movie is earned.
Donnie Wahlberg put on one of the best performances I've ever seen in a minor
agree.
role.
I agree. That opening scene with him
is powerful.
is amazing. And you know what? And this is sort of a hot take. I think Donnie Wahlberg might be a better actor than Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Hands down. That's not a hot take. That's reality.
But listen, I've liked Mark Wahlberg in a number of movies. I
Yeah.
think he's been good. He was
is what
great
he
in The
is.
Departed.
He's
He
Marky
earned
Marky
his
and the
Oscar
Funky Bunch.
nomination in that movie. He really did.
Yeah, he was good in Four
But
Brothers.
I think ultimately Donnie Wahlberg is the better actor of that
Oh, yeah.
of the two of them.
Agreed.
You want to know what my final takeaway is? As a teacher, he was really mean to his teacher. He was a mean little kid.
Saturday Stanley.
Yeah.
Yes.
This movie, let's give our ratings. This movie's a 10. Pearl, what are you rating on this one?
A 9.5.
9.5. Dave?
I'm going to say 9.5. Yeah, this is an absolute must watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I give this a 9, but I'm going to give you the takeaway I had in 1999, and we can have an extremely brief discussion. In 1999, when I watched this, I loved it, but I thought this is more leaning thriller
Sure.
than it is horror.
No, I can't agree. I can't agree because of the fact of the supernatural element to it. I think the supernatural element of this movie, where he's looking up the hall and he sees those people hanging in the hall from like hundreds of years ago. And when he's locked in the closet, when that kid locks him in the closet and he's like, no, don't put me in there, because he hears somebody in there who has been in that closet for 150 years. I think this is straight up horror.
Pearl?
Absolutely straight up horror.
Horror, thriller, drama, what do you call it?
To me, it's horror.
Okay.
I mean, when you go through it step by step, I mean, from the beginning, like, we see Donnie Wahlberg, you see scratches on his back, so you know he's still suffering through it before.
Yeah. Yes,
it all
exactly.
ending.
This movie, for me, is straight up horror. And the scene in the kitchen, when young Cole goes to the bathroom and you hear the phew, going past him, and he goes into the kitchen and that woman screaming, "Look what you did to me!" and she's pointing to her wrists.
Yeah.
Are you telling me you would not shit a brick if you were that little kid in that scene?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for everybody, it's just a gut check. I'm not arguing either way, but I could see you leaning one way or the other.
Yeah, it's more thriller, but it does have horror elements for me.
Yeah.
No, I can't agree. I can't agree with either one of you. I think this is straight up horror.
Bill, we're wrong. Bill, we're wrong. We're wrong.
I've been told. And I have one funny last takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
What a way to end the evening. A half-naked man breaks into your bedroom and shoots you.
Yeah.
And then my next point is, what a cock blocker.
Yeah, right. There was no way, Bill. There was no way Bruce Willis wasn't getting laid that.
Yeah, he was definitely getting getting active. He's getting the booty. So the movie Sixth Sense is 1999. We did end up buying it on Prime Video. I own this movie but could not find it. It's in DVD form somewhere. But it's a masterpiece. So definitely check it out. Mm-hmm.
This was one of the first 5 DVDs I ever picked up in my life.
That's awesome. I do have it on VHS.
I picked up the first 2 were The Matrix and 1999's The Mummy. The next day I went to Target and I picked up Unbreakable and The Sixth Sense.
Nice. There you go, some M. Night Shyamalan. So we want to thank Gilman Joel. We want to thank, of course, Peter. We love Peter.
Get out of the closet.
And Daryl and the whole crew.
Get out of the closet, Peter. Yes, and Daryl.
Yeah, and definitely check out the rest of the Spooky Flix Fest that's happening the month of October, as you'll hear Peter's beautiful voice at the beginning, probably doing his little spooky intros and all that good stuff. So
maybe he'll do it in Swedish.
He may be. If not, I'll do it. No, I'm not. So I love you guys and gals, so let's pass it around.
You barely made it to Spooky Flix Fest. Now you're going to talk Swedish.
I know, right? Yeah, see? But we are Land of the Creeps. You can check us out at landofthecreeps.blogspot.com. Shameful plug. But I am Greg Mortis. Twisted Temptress, what you got in closing here as we shoot this thing down the drain?
That I hope everyone tunes in and watches this movie. And also stay for the end credits if you want to hear a spooky, last words where they say, yo no quiero morir. And it's saying, I don't want to die. Ooh. Right at the end credits. And it sounds so eerie. But definitely watch this journey of this poor little boy being scared to death and then learning how to cope with it and going through his secret.
Nice. Dave, anything last words?
Yeah, The Sixth Sense is really a movie about redemption. It is about a young boy accepting his place in the world, the gifts he has been given. And it took another ghost to convince him of that. Mm-hmm. You know, that this is his place in the world. He was meant to do the things that, that terrified him through most of this movie. Where spirits were reaching out to him. And all of a sudden, it took another ghost to convince him that, hey, this is your place in the world. Mm-hmm. If it was my place in the world, I probably would have put a gun in my mouth and pulled the trigger. I couldn't have dealt with what this kid had to deal with. Mm-hmm. But I respect the hell out of him and of this movie. I think that is for me, that's what it's all about. It is about a young boy finding his place in the world for something he had no control over.
There you go. Bill, any final words?
I love the film. Everybody should check it out. I also think it's a good gateway film if you're having a date or somebody that really isn't into horror, thriller type films. This was a great one to introduce them to. And sorry, Jay, I think this is better than The Village.
Oh, hands down. Good Lord, everything's better than The Village. Come on, Bill, you know better than that piece of crap movie. Yeah, I said it, Jay. It's war again, brother. All right, so you can check us out. Check out the rest of the Spooky Flix Fest. Thank you, Gilman and Peter and Daryl once again. A lot of great lineups, a lot of great movies this year. Stay tuned. So this is Greg and Mortis along with the Twisted Temptress, Dave and Bill signing out. As we always like to say, help keep horror alive. We do that one movie at a time, one review at a time. Spooky Flix Fest. Boo!
Thank you for listening. Get all the spookiness you can handle this October by subscribing to Mom and Pop Video Shop on YouTube. You can also find Retro Movie Geek on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you dig up your podcasts. The spooktastic music you heard at the beginning and end of this episode was provided courtesy of Ed and Gavin and their band, Midnight Syndicate. We want to thank them for the use of music from their albums, Gates of Delirium and The 13th Hour. Want to sink your ghostly claws into this and all of Midnight Syndicate's beautifully macabre music? Then go to midnightsyndicate.com. And remember, spooky is as spooky does.